Why is Kalaripayattu known as the father of all martial arts? What is its history? So, unfortunately, we don't know much about the history of Kalaripayattu. We know that it's one of the ancient martial arts of India, one of the few surviving ancient martial arts of India. It's it's of its origin is in Kerala, as we know very well. We don't really know how old it is. It is clearly of great antiquity, but we don't have an exact idea of what precisely its age is, because, as I will say again and again, our historians have never tried to investigate the matter. So we don't know how old it is. It is clearly a very ancient martial art. The fact is that India was home to a great number of martial arts, and these were all stamped out in the past 1000 years by the various invading peoples, by the Turkic invaders and later by the European invaders, because the martial arts are a threat to any invading and occupying force. So they tried to stamp these out, and most of these martial arts have now gone extinct. There's very little left. There is a martial art called Shastra Vidya that is still practiced by some people in northern India, and some other forms of martial arts. In Manipur, there is still the indigenous martial arts called Thangta, etc., which is still prevalent. Even that has been curtailed to some extent because of the British occupation. But apart from that, there are very few martial arts left in India. Kalaripayattu, thankfully, is still there. It's a very ancient martial art. And there is this belief that Kalaripayattu is the origin of Kung Fu. So we don't know for sure. I am not saying it's not the case, but we don't have evidence today because we no one has done research. It is possible there's a linkage, but we have still to find the evidence. So what we know is this: there was this Indian uh, monk called Bodhidharma, who was a Buddhist monk, and he was also a great practitioner of dhyana meditation, which is an ancient form of Indian meditation. So this Indian monk was most likely from southern India, and he traveled north of the Himalayas and east into China, and he went to a temple, a monastery that had been built by a Chinese king for another monk whose name was Buddha Bhadra. So Buddha Bhadra had gone to China to translate Indian texts, Indian philosophical and religious texts from Sanskrit into Chinese. And when Buddha Bhadra died, Bodhidharma went there to replace him. And this monastery that was built by the Chinese king for this purpose is the Shaolin Monastery. And it is Bodhidharma who introduced this ancient Indian martial art to the Chinese, and the Chinese developed it further, and it is now known as Kung Fu. It is clearly of Indian origin. Even the Shaolin Temple's website states this unambiguously, that Kung Fu originated with the Indian Dhyana master Bodhidharma. And from China, this martial art traveled to various places. So in Japan, you have this form of Okinawan karate called Shorin Ryu karate. It originated in Okinawa, in the island of Okinawa. And Shorin Ryu means Shaolin school in Japanese. And Shaolin Kung Fu has also influenced Korean martial arts and various other martial arts of various parts of Eastern Asia. So if there is a definite connection between Kalaripayattu and Shaolin Kung Fu, then one could definitely make the statement, make the assertion that Kalaripayattu may be the father of all Eastern Asian and Indian martial arts. But we don't know for sure. So India, like I said, has a very ancient tradition of martial arts. In the Mahabharata time, the Guru Dronacharya, was a teacher of martial arts. He taught his students various martial arts. So we have had a very ancient tradition of martial arts. As for Kalaripayattu, we still don't know for sure, but it's definitely a candidate.